Welcome to Comics League Movie Night. And what's up, champ? 2025. Today we are talking Halo Legends. This is our first Halo discussion of Comics League Movie Night. So let us begin this discussion. So let me bring in the other members of our distinguished panel.
I am Phoenix!
Hello, sir.
So we here to finish the fight?
Exactly.
Flame on!
Yeah, so let us begin. So Halo Legends. All right, so to give you guys a basic idea of what this is basically the Animatrix, but for Halo. It's basically a bunch of animated shorts, done by some of the best anime studios in Japan to like expand on the Halo lore, and all but one of these are canon. I will reveal which one. It's pretty obvious which one, but I'll tell you exactly which one. And yes, champ, it is so good. So we're going to start with the Origins chapter. Now with the so to give you guys context as to why the Chief is floating in space, at the end of Halo 3, he gets marooned in space, and essentially, because what happens is he goes
Spoilers.
to a portal. Yeah, he goes to for a game that came out in 2007. Nice. So he goes to a portal. The portal closes right as his ship goes through, and it cuts the ship in half. His half is floating in space until it crash lands on the planet in Halo 4. So and he's in space for 4 years. That's why he's in that little stasis pod, Nick, in the first 2 episodes.
All right.
So Origins is basically recounting the history of the Halo universe. Part 1 basically describes the Forerunner side. Which those that don't know, the Forerunners are the ones that built the Halo rings. And the Halo rings are a super weapon that, when fired, wipe out all sentient life in the galaxy. Because zombies. That's why. It's just the space zombies show up. They figure let's starve them of their food source, us. So they wipe out all life. Obviously, preserving some
if
samples.
you're gonna do it, you got to do it properly. They are zombies.
Yeah, exactly. So what they do is that they preserve some like specimens, obviously, so they can reseed the earth.
Also, they preserved you.
What?
That's what she said.
They preserved you.
Yeah, exactly. So
You're a specimen.
I'm actually 100 million years old, but anyway.
You don't look a day over 3,500.
I know, it's Halo logic. So, but yeah. So basically, that's part 1. Bit basically talks about the Flood shows up, the flood of the space zombies. They completely overwhelm the Forerunners, so the Forerunners wipe out all life, and then they reseed it. Part 2 starts, and it's basically modern human history up until like I think about where Halo 4 starts, where it's just the Human Covenant War, the insurrection that started the Spartan program. We'll talk about that when we get to the Homecoming episode. But the point is, there was an insurrection. They started the Spartan program, and then that's why you have Spartans showing up. And then the Covenant invade. We fight the Covenant. Then humanity is forced to team up with the Covenant to fight the Flood, and then the war ends. That's basically that. So do you guys have any questions on that first?
No, okay. For me, I kind of fell off Halo after Halo 4. This was like the video game equivalent to Hydra Cap for me. So Origin was a great recap.
Interestingly enough, JJheat, Hydra Cap is what made me fall off of Marvel for many years.
Oh, I've been done with Marvel.
I was like, I'm out. No. I'll see you later.
I never.
Yeah, Hydra.
Kick him out.
Okay, that's it. You're done. You're on the bottom now, Hydra. Oh, we now have Hydra Nick, or Stevel, as they called him, by the way. Traitor. But anyway, so Nick, do you have any like questions on what happened in Origins?
No. Personally, I wasn't really a big fan of Origins. The animation didn't really do it for me. I'm trying to be nice with how I put this. You know,
It's fair. That's a fair
think
critique. That's a fair critique.
Yeah, like just kind of to give you guys a little bit of spoiler. Like the first half of the series, like Origins, and then the duel I was not a fan of. The second half I started to enjoy it, but like I don't want to be overly negative, so
Okay.
that's why I'm being that's why I'm being quiet.
Oh, it's
Hey,
fine.
constructive criticism. Nothing
But
wrong
yeah,
with that.
so the thing about it, okay, I can see why you wouldn't like a couple of the episodes because they make some very distinct artistic choices. Honestly, I
That's
thought
one
the
way
duel,
of putting it.
I thought the duel would be right up your alley because you're writing a samurai comic, and that's basically what it is.
Except I actually put more than $5 in a bag of popcorn into the animation budget.
I thought it was animated actually pretty good. At least the duel was.
Oh, it was terrible. Oh, like when you know like the shortcuts that animators take, and like it's all over the duel. Like all the shortcuts that animators take, it's not even done well. Like I don't want to be overly negative, so please.
All right. So the story of the duel. Now the duel is actually a very interesting one because that's getting a little more into the history of the Covenant. What happened was, so the prophets are those people in chairs. That's who the prophets are, and then the elites are like the main alien race that we see in the duel. They're like more of like, think of them as kind of like the Klingons / they're the very honor bound race in the Covenant. They meet. They go to war with the prophets. The prophets win because they have a Forerunner ship that's significantly more technologically advanced. Then they form the original Covenant. That's why they reference we were the best before the prophets found us. So they took the role of leadership. Now, what this is showing is, all right, this is not the same Arbiter from Halo 2. I just want to make sure you guys understand that because this,
Of course.
not only does this guy die, but it's ancient.
I mean, to be fair, even I understood that much because I think they even made a reference to like, oh, we're gonna make the Arbiters a mark of shame. So
and
like,
that's
okay,
what gets it. That's
even my limited Halo knowledge of me, like, okay, yep, I got that.
Yeah, because before it was a symbol of honor, then it became a thing of shame because he was questioning the Great Journey. Now, what's the Great Journey? The Great Journey is the Covenant believe that if they light the Halo rings, it doesn't kill them, it just ascends them to godhood, and that's their Great Journey. That's essentially what that's referring to. And to emphasize this, the Covenant worship the Forerunners like gods. That's that much was pretty obvious, I think, from all these episodes.
God.
Well, actually, their first interaction with humanity, they came on the loudspeaker and says, "Your destruction is the will of the gods, and we are their instrument." They kind of homage this in one of the Halo 3 cutscenes, I think. So, and again, so what they wanted to do with this one, they wanted to make it look like a motion painting. So that's to account the art style of this episode.
I'd say they failed. Like I said, I know some people love this. So I'm trying not to be like.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
But I objectively did not like this. Now the next
subjectively,
one,
you mean?
I think on a technical level, it just failed.
Let me ask you this, Nick. Ignoring the animation, story-wise, did you enjoy it?
No, because I just was not able to follow it.
What's up, dead guy?
I will say, the next one is goes into the subjective ones where it's like the next story. I'll concede it's more of a me problem than a them problem with the next short.
The next short, I believe, was Homecoming, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. So Homecoming is basically going into the origin, the Spartan program. Now, again, I referenced this in the beginning of our discussion. The Spartan program was basically like a super soldier program to fight insurrectionists. It was not intended to fight the what's up, sir? It was not intended to, and by the way, dead guy, we're talking about the Halo anime series. So the Spartan program was not intended to fight aliens. It was intended to fight actual humans, and they kidnapped the 6-year-old kids and then unleashed them because they took the kids from what's called the outer colonies, basically the part of space no one cares about. And interestingly enough, the outer colonies were the planets that were rebelling. So essentially, you could be kidnapped. Rim. Yeah, you could essentially be kidnapped and then unleashed on your own people. That's what I got to. Yes, the anthology. So That's really crazy. And then what this is showing is that a group of Spartans escaped from the program and went home, and then they discovered, because a bunch of kids disappearing, that's gonna raise some eyebrows, right?
Right,
So,
right.
So what ONI did, and ONI is the Office of Naval Intelligence, basically the Halo version of the CIA, replaced these kids with what are called flash clones, which are like cloning but sped up. The problem with this, I enjoy it too, Dead Guy. The problem with this is that these kids these clones developed debilitating diseases and then died. So it's like all of a sudden they got sick and died. That's the way that they explain it in the books. And that was their way of like hiding. Hey, the Covenant. These kids didn't actually get kidnapped. They just ran away for a second and then showed up. Because in one of the books, they show the Spartan abduction, but from the parents' perspective, it's like all of a sudden, it's like the parents lose the kid. The kid ran away and then just shows up and then dies. So that's kind of how that works. So
that sounds awfully traumatic.
Oh, yeah. So these kids have been training since they're 6 years old, augmented when they're 14. So at this point in the show, I know they look older and they sound older. They got accelerated puberty. So they're like 14, 15 in these shorts. Just wanted to let you know that. So
at least they didn't pull a Velma.
Yeah, exactly. So what this is showing is that...
Why did you say that name?
So what this show really shows really well, this short specifically, is the effect the Spartan presence has on the battlefield, because it starts off in the middle of a firefight. These Marines are getting their asses kicked. All of a sudden, the Spartan shows up and just completely lays waste to the Covenant. And that's pretty much the motivating factor that these Spartans have. And then it definitely it's some core shit to do with it. It's easy way to get rid of kids and evidence. Yes, exactly. So now what's important to know is that one of the Marines is a former Spartan. He washed out of the program. That's why she knows that one Marine on the radio. They should have explained this more. This is my nitpick with that. That's explaining the extended lore, because I was confused watching this. I'm like, wait a second, shouldn't you be in Spartan armor? But that's beside the point. And obviously, so spoiler alert, everybody dies. I need that drop from Patrick. And what basically happens is, what's kind of funny about it is that this Spartan shows up and then we're like, instantly it's the Master Chief. We know it's the Master Chief, right?
Right.
100% he shows up and he's like, and he basically just does away with the body and then moves on. And then I believe after this one, what's after this one again? I think the next one's Odd One Out, aka Dragon Ball Halo.
By Toei.
Spoiler alert, this is probably... I was not having a good time with this. Like, I was halfway considering just turning it off and not appearing on the show, but this short actually saved my viewing experience, and...
I knew you would like this one, Nick. When you said you weren't enjoying it, I was like, just get to Odd One Out. Just get to Odd One Out.
Yeah, like, from here on out, I'm going to be talking more, because, like, trust me, I have a lot more things I want to say about, like, the previous ones, but I'm not here to be negative. I'm not here to rain on you guys' parade. I know you guys like this, so I was just being quiet out of respect for you guys.
I appreciate that. So this one is basically... So this was non-canon. Just want to be clear on this. It's pretty obvious it's not canon. So,
why is the non-canon stuff the coolest?
I know, right?
Well, it's because you can't have a Spartan being eat mama. I'm one heck of a mama myself. I love that. Spartan 1337. By the way, so the numbering of the Spartans is kind of weird, because originally there was a list of 150, and then the group that were abducted was 75 kids. So in other words, 75 kids started in the Spartan program. They just kept their original number on the old list, if that makes sense.
Pretty much.
But so what happens is the Covenant sends this like brute, I guess, this like bio weapon against the Spartan that's like on this planet, and it's just so funny because it turns into Dragon Ball where he slipped and fell out of the ship. That's the way they explain it. And then the chief is like, it's 1337, isn't it? Like, he's still a Spartan. He's been trained with the best. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. And then there's 1337 chasing after the ship. Don't leave me behind.
Yeah, it had a good slapstick.
I love that. What were you gonna say, JJheat?
Would you rather watch this short or Spaceballs? Because
don't you dare insult Spaceballs.
Don't you dare! No. Well, okay, so we will be covering Spaceballs on movie night, even though it's not a comic book movie. It's awesome, but
You didn't get them.
merchandising.
You got their stunt doubles.
Yeah, that's great.
You went from such.
I am your father's brother's cousin's former roommate. What does that make us? Nothing.
Hey.
Bro, I was about to say.
Too late. It's my
come
show.
on.
It's my show. So
No, I was about to say, what does that make us? And then you would have responded. Like,
No.
I thought you're.
no, it's fine. But so 1337 finds these kids dressed as cavemen and these two people that are obviously anime characters, and they fight
One
this
of them,
creature.
one of them, like the girl, even looks like Android 18.
When is this? This is now. Everything now is happening now. What about then? It just happened. This is Mr. Coffee and Mr. TV. So going back to the show.
Spaceballs the flamethrower. Great for kids.
Spaceballs the doll. Me.
merchandising.
I need that for anytime I get Snyderverse merch.
You.
I need that for every time I get Snyderverse merch. So anyway.
Yogurt's a magnificent. Oh, please. I'm just playing yogurt.
I hate yogurt, even with strawberries. I love how we went from Halo to Spaceballs, but I'm here for it.
Wait, let's jam the radar. Wait, raspberry. There's only one person that would dare jam me.
Lone Star.
Oh.
So anyway, going back to this. So what's kind of funny about this one, they have the most anime fight ever. And it's kind of funny. There's plenty of these where I'm watching them and I'm like, why can't I do that in the game? Because I'm playing as a super soldier. It's like he's punching away fists, and he punches one in the gut. I'm like, oh, this is dope. And then the AI, spoiler alert, of the crash ship just basically launches the brute into like space. Halo Legend Spaceballs stream. But so that's the end of it. And turns out this AI thing is like it was on this planet. And by the way, in Halo, they would never have left the AI on that planet. Just want to be clear on that. They would never have done that because these AIs, even old ones, have very valuable information. But this is non-canon, so I don't have to do this. And then I love how the creature actually crashed into the Halo ring, and he looks up and he goes, "What?" And then we get to one of the ones that actually made me a little pissed. Prototype.
Oh boy.
So
All right, here we go.
No, here's why it got me pissed, because I can't use that armor in the game.
You had me in the first half, not gonna lie.
That's why it angered me. I was like, "You kidding? This exists in the Halo universe and I can't use it?"
Perfect DLC material. Wasted.
I know, which actually kind of funny.
I will say with this one,
Mhm.
I was kind of like confused, like I had no idea what was going on, but like the action was pretty good.
Because it's done by the same guy that did like Robotech and all that stuff, and a lot of mech combat, and like I believe one of the guys that worked on this pioneered the missile trail thing. So anyway, this one starts off. We have a Marine who's lost all of his men, and it's kind of going into like this. It's kind of going back and forth between the past and the present. In the present, there's this battle. Now I have to explain what the Cold Protocol is because they reference that. What the Cold Protocol is if the Covenant show up on Earth or on a planet, if you encounter the Covenant in space, the Cold Protocol dictates that you have to wipe your navigational database and destroy your AI so the Covenant does not have anything that points to Earth or any of the inner colonies. Screw the outer colonies. No one cares about them.
By the way, I just did a quick Google search. Prototype was done by Studio Bones.
So So JJheat, what'd you think of Prototype? JJheat,
Hello?
what'd you think of Prototype?
Okay. Prototype had potential and it was decent. I just really hate we didn't get that armor as a DLC.
I know, or like a vehicle. Hey, A343. Here's a good thing for Halo Infinite. Just saying.
Halo 4 destroyed a lot of my goodwill for the franchise. I'm sorry. I feel the same way about Hydra Cap. When all was said and done, I was like, done. And to this day, I've not picked up a Marvel comic.
Oh wow.
I've completely fallen off from Marvel, and I am so glad I did.
JJheat is a man of focus, of sheer freaking will.
All right. So
He was waiting to see if I was
the
quicker.
suit is freaking dope. It's got a minigun. It's got a howitzer on the shoulder. And then Ghost, the protagonist, is like, okay, I'm going to hold off the Covenant with this dope-ass armor we were developing. Yes, exactly. And so the story of this is of Ghost trying to atone for letting his men get killed in the beginning of the episode.
Also, I'm sorry, I have to say this. This is burning a hole in my mind.
Yeah.
The masculine urge to hold off an enemy wave while everyone escapes and die in the process. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
It's awesome. And by the way, there's a sequel to this that's a motion comic called The Heart of Midlothian, which you can find on YouTube for free. It's super dope. So,
You're super dope.
thank you. What's 2100 Samurai is super dope. Speaking of which, on the in the description is the signups. So,
I wasn't angling for that. I just wanted to compliment.
no, I know. I appreciate that. So, you get to see like all the guns on this, and it's like he punches an elite in half.
Holy
Half. Like you see like an arm fly off. Yeah, this episode is
Are you
bloody.
sure? Are you sure it's not in quarters or thirds?
Okay. And by the way, a Dead Guys production, you're super dope as well. And by the way, so it's kind of funny. I had a thought. This is a random thought that popped into my mind, but I had to bring this up. I found a Wonder Bat scenario that I can support.
Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Everyone stay calm.
If it's the Batman from Speeding Bullets.
Oh.
I got you.
And
For those that don't know, Speeding Bullets is the one where Superman crashes to Earth and becomes Batman and then goes back to being Superman.
If this was my stream, I'd be busting out the I hate you right now.
I wanted to see if I could get you guys.
Jared, can you drop that for me?
By the way, pause. No, you'd be unsubbed. Oh, thanks, dead guy. You'd be dropping the FU Bard drop. But yes, since you're my buddy, I will drop that right now. I knew it. I was like, okay, I have to. Yeah, because guess what? That is Super Wonder, but that's Wonder back that turns into Super Wonder. So suck it. So. Going into this, I wanted to see how long I could get you. So,
see, I would drop the FU bar, but we're not in my stream, so
yeah, exactly. Oh shit, he has the song pulled up. All right, for those of you that don't know, JJheat wrote a song about Wonderbat, but our good friend Pika Shades expertly sung it. Go ahead.
Right. Okay.
Wonderbat.
Yeah, that is fantastic. But
You deserve that.
I do, but so worth it. And by the way, we love you, Pika. So
comment, subscribe to Pika Shades, everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so the point of this episode is he succeeds and he dies, but the code is be human because that's one of the last things the soldier that was dying his arm said to him. So it's kind of significant to him.
Sentimental, basically.
This is basically an atonement story. That's basically how I would describe this one. Pika's got a nice set of pipes. Who's this Phoenix Press guy?
I don't know. He seems like an.
I don't know. He shows up in my streams, and I'm like, he actually shows up on the panel somehow, and I'm like, who the hell does this guy think he is? So I think he's a Nightwing fan. Who's a fan of Nightwing? Everyone knows Jason Todd.
I think he likes.
I think he's angling to get banned.
I think he likes Nightwing like 2, 4, maybe 5 times as much as anyone else. I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's weird. He has this comic called Screecher that it's actually really good. I can't make a bad joke about Screecher. I'm sorry. I just can't. It's too good. But anyway.
Yeah, Screecher's too good.
So anyway, it's a redemption story. Now we're going to go to the babysitter, which...
Oh, boy.
Why? Oh, boy. Did you not enjoy this one, JJheat?
It was okay. I'm sorry. I grew up with Halo, and the disappointment I endured from Halo 4, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm sorry.
So JJheat, are you saying that your disappointment is immeasurable and your day was ruined?
Wait. Here's JJheat.
Not impressed.
And for you old heads, that was my original intro on this panel.
But I wanted to give everyone their own unique badass intro. So in this one, which I really like, this one highlights that the Spartans and the ODSTs, 2 of the best special forces units in Halo, have this one-sided rivalry on the part of the ODSTs because the Spartans just want to do their job, and the ODSTs are like, "We hate you. You're a bunch of freaks, you Spartans." Which
they jelly.
They very jelly. I love in the beginning you have that one Marine that's trying to hang out with the ODSTs, and they're like, "Nope."
I love how even among, like, there's kind of like a hierarchy. It's like the rank and file ODST Spartans.
Yeah, you do not screw with ODSTs. No, you do not. So, and Spartans don't hang out with people.
They hang out with other Spartans.
They hang out with other Spartans because they're very antisocial. So that's why the chief having sex with Maquis wouldn't work, because they're trained not to have any romantic attachments on people. I had to drop a reference. So,
Jared, just stop right there. Otherwise, you'll give yourself another aneurysm by talking about the show.
Yes. So
remember, you've had 3 aneurysms already, just all for talking about the show. You don't need a 4th.
Yeah, there's still time. So the ODSTs have an orbital drop, and that's why they're called because ODST stands for Orbital Drop Shock Trooper. Their specialty is they just rocket down to a planet's surface in pods, and one of them actually burns up in the atmosphere. That's why they're called Hell Jumpers. So they drop, and the plan is they're supposed to patrol in and assassinate a prophet. That's the basic thing. So they move out, and then they encounter this little Covenant outpost. They engage some grunts. They kill them. And then this brute chieftain shows up, and by the gravity hammer in the game, if you're hit by that, you're going far away, because it actually, so it's kind of like Superman's ground pound level of power, right, JJheat?
That's what she said.
Of course.
So when you get hit it, is there like a sound effect that goes, yeah?
No, it's actually that's one way to get hammered. So
Jared, no.
So anyway, you guys suck. So anyway, they escape.
No one.
I love how there's this one ODST, the one ODST that's like hates the Spartan is the one that keeps being saved by the Spartan, to which Dutch is like, he had to save your life twice. You could at least say thank you, you dingus.
And I love how each time the Spartan does it, they just can't be bothered. Like,
I'm going away. So then they arrive at the location. They get ambushed by the chieftain again, because you think he dies, but he doesn't. He kills the Spartan, essentially. And the one ODST, O'Brien, takes a shot and kills the elite, where we discover that by the way, the Spartan's a girl. Now, here's a key detail. The skin color. Because here's the thing, Spartans are actually really, really pale. You know why?
Because they're nerds.
No, because they spend so much time in the armor.
And they're nerds.
Yeah. Roll the clip.
And by the way, JJheat, so for a little for little geeking out, even though I'm already geeking out about Halo, the armor that the Spartan was wearing, because the reason why the shield, because ordinarily in Halo you have an energy shield, right? But
Right.
but canonically, this suit of armor was the one before that, because the shield that you have in Halo 1 was reverse engineered from Covenant technology, and that was a generation of armor above the one that this Spartan had. In other words, she had Mark IV, and then a couple of years later, they went to Mark V, which is the one in Halo 1. That's why she doesn't have an energy shield. And by the
Probably
way,
would have helped.
the armor is called Mjolnir. Mir.
Oh, meow meow.
Meow meow, essentially. Then we get meow 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 meow. Then we get to what is possibly, which is my favorite episode of this, the package. Which what?
First of all, for those dirty-minded in the audience, stop it.
Stop it.
It's
So
in the box. What's in the box?
So let me ask you this. Before I
God,
go
we're
into
old.
what happens in this episode, thoughts on the package, Nick?
Remind me.
It's the very last one.
I feel like they saved, as far as what they thought, the best for last. Like, when I first saw this, I actually thought, like, wait, did Blur Studios do this? Because, like,
It
you know how
looks
they
like
did
it,
this,
right?
They did, so for those, well, any Halo fans all know this, but like for the non-Halo fans in this stream, correct me if I'm wrong, but Blur Studios did the cinematics for the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, they did the They basically, I think, handled the remaster for MCC, particularly Halo 2 Anniversary.
Yeah, they do really good in-game cinematics. Like they are. Mwah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And it's been said that if Halo ever did a series, and I say that because they haven't had a Halo series, but if they ever did a series, they should have Blur do it and just do it animated. I think Halo could do well for a, like, what is it? For a Clone Wars style show.
Wait. I gotta do this. Could we please make the show animated and not take off the helmet?
Oh, and make the super suit green.
Fun fact: Tim Miller, the co-director of Deadpool, is actually the owner of Blur Studios.
Yeah.
That's your connection right there.
Awesome. Yeah, of course. I love Tim Miller. So, this episode, the Covenant have captured a high priority package, and this is the Chiefs team going to achieve that package on a Covenant fleet in another vehicle that you can't use in the game, but I really want that modders have made it so you can use that. The booster frame, which is basically a space motorcycle with a bunch of guns on it. So awesome.
So if Lobo was in the Halo universe, he'd be using this.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah. So if there's one Halo vehicle that he would use, it would be a booster frame.
Now
will be fracking all over the galaxy.
Now we just need to get that man his space dolphins.
Yeah, exactly. So the Spartans deploy, and by the way, this is Blue Team. This is the team that the Chief has trained and fought with since they were 6 years old. And by the way, they're probably at least 14, 15. Let me see, timeline wise. Yeah, they're about, like, I want to say, depending on the timeline of this, probably, let's say 19. They're young. Let me put it to you this way, because the Spartan timeline. So they go through the fleet. They lose a couple of people. They land. I'm going through this really fast because I want to get to the good part. Then they have a badass action scene where they are running down a Covenant ship with the Halo theme blasting and going into slow motion. You're seeing them do, like, all kinds of crazy moves, dual wielding, reloading, because, like, the hatch pops out of Chief's thigh and then a magazine comes out. And I'm like, this is dope. This is just dope. What'd you guys think?
Stand by for Titanfall.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just have, like, elites coming at them with energy swords. Fred takes out his knives and he goes, oh, let's go. Then they arrive. Well, I was going to say French Canadian years old. So they arrive and they discover the package is actually Dr. Catherine Halsey, the creator of the Spartan program. And
Why is it in like every version of Halo except for the TV show they make her really freaking hot?
She was hot in the TV show. And by the way,
in an older woman kind of way, I guess.
By the way, the show that was the one thing the show nailed was Catherine Halsey. That's exactly.
I would say the look of Cortana. I think they got.
Oh yeah, 100% is the look of the show, and they got that Jen Taylor plays her, but I wish she also played the Halsey, but still. But for context, this is the woman who personally scouted out the Master Chief. So she has known him since before he was a Spartan. That's why she calls him John specifically.
Halsey, and like I think Halsey is the closest thing he has to a mother. Oh
yeah, 100%. And to give you context, everyone else, like in the UNSC, calls the Chief 117 or Master Chief. She's the only one that calls him John.
Doesn't Cortana call him John?
Well, Cortana, but I'm saying she's the only human in the military that calls him John. And obviously, she's like one of the only things that refers to like the other Spartans by their actual names, like Kelly, Fred, Linda. Linda is a redheaded sniper girl that is on Blue Team but wasn't in this episode. Just wanted to.
I've never seen her before, but she is now my favorite.
She is in. You can see her in the Halo 5 cutscene. She's the sniper in the brown armor.
Okay, I have to look up pictures.
And fun fact,
you have me at redhead.
Kelly's like call sign was Rabbit because she is the fastest Spartan. It's estimated that she can run at cheetah speeds.
All right.
And Fred actually was kind of funny, outranks the Chief, but he still takes orders from John out of respect. He's like, nope, you know what? You're the one person I'm not going to question. Your way to go. Your way to go. Yeah, she treats them like humans because in a way, they are her children. In fact, if we cover the animated movie Fall of Reach, we'll see a little more of that.
Is Kelly's number 087?
Yeah, she is 087. Linda's is 058. Fred's is 104.
Also, JJheat fell.
Oh, okay. So Nick.
So it seems like Kelly shows up in Forward Unto Dawn.
Yeah, she does. She and Fred show up in Forward Unto Dawn in Reach style armor, but still, she shows up in ironically, Chief's actual team are not in the show. Also, that's what Silver Team is supposed to be. Just want to tell you that. But their debut game was Halo 5, the one that people don't really like, probably because you only play as them in 3 missions.
Isn't that the one where they try to push like Locke as like the new lead of the franchise, and everyone's like, nope.
Not the lead of the franchise. Okay, so the way it works is that they marketed it as, okay, it's going to be the Chief on the run from the UNSC. That's cool. That only happened in like a cutscene.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, it's going to be Locke versus Master Chief, and it's like 10 seconds. It's a 10-second fight.
That was one of the best Angry Joes where he goes, okay, it would be cool if you had this Spartan v Spartan thing, right? That'd be cool if it actually showed up in the bleeping game. By the way, and a dead guy has a right. Forward Unto Dawn is actually really cool. If you want another one, watch Halo Nightfall. That's really cool.
Yeah, I need to see Nightfall. Forward Unto Dawn is probably the only piece of Halo media that I've consumed, and I actually really like it.
And we will make you play the games. But what we could do is that if you guys want on movie night, we could cover the other, because there's 3 other Halo movies. There's Forward Unto Dawn, Nightfall, and Fall of Reach. If you guys want, we can cover those, and that'd be like a fun little.
I'm telling you, here's the only way I'm gonna play Halo: co-op between me and you, and we make some content about it.
Oh, of course, dude. That was a given. That was a given. Well, we are so going to do that. And yes, Forward Unto Dawn was excellent. And they released that, by the way. So what 343 did. This was actually a good marketing strategy for 4 and 5. They released the movies as episodes, weekly episodes to hype you up for the game in the weeks leading up to the game, and then they released them all as one big DVD.
Oh wow.
So that's essentially that was a marketing strategy, and that was actually a really good marketing strategy. By the way, fun fact: District 9 was originally the Halo movie, but it got too expensive, so they retooled it into District 9.
Can you imagine a Halo movie directed by Neil Blomkamp?
Oh my! Can you imagine a Halo movie directed by Zack Snyder? Yes, I'm gonna say it.
Did you know at one point Peter Jackson was attached to Halo?
Yeah, and he would have done a great job. But once again, imagine Zack Snyder's visual style, but Halo.
Check private chat.
That would have been like, oh, okay. Yeah. So, JJheat, can you imagine a Halo movie done by Zack Snyder?
I can. It's called Rebel Moon, coming out to a theater near you.
There you go. Well, actually, on Netflix near you.
Mm.
But
By the way, full circle coming this weekend. Make sure to watch all of our streams for juicy announcements.
Yes.
Yes, we are. And apparently, okay, some people have been saying he has an announcement for Saturday instead of Sunday, but we'll still be streaming. It'll all be good. So, what we're talking about is okay. So, what was cool, another hidden detail about the package, by the way, is that when the chief rescues Halsey, who's basically his mother, he leads her out, and then he encounters the elite major, and the elite majors are the ones with the red armor. He encounters the elite major who throws him a sword. That shows you the honor of these elites. He wants to have an honorable, fair fight. Yeah, Blomkamp or whatever would do Halo much better, though. I'm saying the visual style of Zack Snyder. You could have Blomkamp like direct, but you could have like produced by Zack Snyder. I'm just saying. But anyway, we will have. I have to reference Zack Snyder once per stream. It's part of my comics and contract.
It's the law.
It's I am the law. But
No. Zack Snyder is the law. You're merely
yes,
a
he
subject.
is. I'm the enforcer of the law. But going back to
All right, Dread.
So essentially, they escape. That's basically the way it goes. So, all right. Now, what did you guys think of the package overall? I'll ask Nick.
Pretty good. I thought visually it was impeccable. Story wise, I pretty much like a lot of these stories, they just kind of plop you into the universe and kind of expect you to understand what's going on, and I feel like that's kind of the fault of a lot of these stories.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it got you enough to know, like, okay, this is the objective, this is what they're doing, and they also kind of repeat the objective a bunch of times throughout there, so that way if you missed it,
and by the way, Nick,
it.
That's just 343 because here's what they did in Halo 5. They put valuable plot points in the extended lore. So you had to read the comics, podcasts, novels in order to understand why Chief is back with Blue Team, who the hell Osiris is, why is Buck a Spartan, why is there a rebellion on one of the alien worlds. So they put so much key plot points in the lore. Where in the Bungie era, and JJheat, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, you could actually just jump into any Halo game and you would, for the most part, be able to figure it out.
Are you saying they pulled a Disney Star Wars?
Exactly. 343 Disney Star Wars Halo before Disney Star Wars did Disney Star Wars.
But Disney Star Wars didn't have all novels and comics or video games to work with.
Oh, you're giving me a headache. All right, here's the thing. Here's the problem I have with a lot of media. They rely on extended universe as a crutch. Like, the reason we didn't explain that, read this novel. When these novels are meant to be...
Ooh, look who's here.
They're meant for people who like, if you liked Halo, but you can't be in front of your Xbox all the time, you grabbed a novel and you had an adventure and sure it would be supplementary material.
Yes,
or
it wasn't... Go
like,
ahead.
Let's say you had Ben the dishwasher. You could have an entire novel where Ben goes to war with the Saltine Empire. I'm just making stuff up, but and then Ben will show up. Maybe he'll mention he had the adventure in the game, and he's such a minor character. You don't care that you're missing out on it, but for the people who did read, oh.
Yeah. Basically, no one likes homework.
It's like these see, here's the thing, and I gotta go guys. Let's good seeing you, Jared. Hey, good seeing you, dead guy. Let's collab again real soon. And by
Good
the way,
seeing you.
a dead guy, I did collab with him on Under Two Caves. He did the episode with me where we talked about how awesome the new 52 is. So he's a fellow new 52 fan. So I appreciate that.
Post-crisis or bust?
But technically, wait. Technically, the new 52 was post-crisis. So
No. It's post Flashpoint.
Blow it out your butt, Jared. Blow it out your butt.
Does it take place post-crisis?
But it's
Blow it
Flashpoint.
out your butt.
Flashpoint also happens post crisis.
Yes, Flashpoint is a self-contained story that leads into New 52.
But I will say, while I like the new 52, there are more stories in post-crisis that I enjoy than new 52.
By that logic, Wonder Bat is canon.
But it's not canon in that universe. I'm about to break out that clip, Nick. I'm about to break out that clip. You're on thin ice, bro.
Hey, I just mentioned it once as a way to derail you. JJheat was the one who took it too far.
I'm about to play that clip. Hey, Teladia, should I play Nick's clip because he broke the truce again?
Hey,
come on, man.
I was just shutting you up. I was just trying to shut you up.
Yeah, but you did the one thing you can't do.
You're pulling the nuclear option, man. Once you do this, there's no going back.
Your quarrel is with JJheat, not me.
No, but you said it. That's the thing.
And JJheat took it too far. If you want to punish someone, punish him. Yes, I am throwing you under the bus, JJheat.
He's laughing. He's having a good time. Good for you. Yeah, laugh it up. Enjoy your night.
Come on, Happy, concentrate.
Actually, I am having a good time. Thank you.
Yeah, don't make me, dude. My mouse is on the button. Let me put it to you this way. So back to Halo Legends. Now, let me ask you this, Nick, because I do want your honest thoughts on the first couple episodes. Now, what about the animation style and everything about the first two episodes was repulsive to you?
Stiff, highly unpolished. In terms of the duel, it's very obvious the filter was more of a cover-up than it was an artistic choice. Because I think if you look closely at the models, they barely move. Like, for example, okay, so one of the tricks that a lot of animators use, and it just done a lot of anime, is they'll take a still frame and they'll just pan over it. This is fine if you do it here and there. But, like, in Origins, it seems like it was entirely made up of, like, a lot of these still images. And when it did move, it moved very awkwardly. That's why I said it's like, what was the animation? What was the animation budget? $5 and a bag of popcorn.
Okay, that's fine. You're allowed to have your own opinions. That's fine. I disagree with you. I think it was pretty good, but
that's why I was silent at the beginning of the stream.
No, but it's 100% fine because it encourages more discussion. That's fine.
It's just people are passionate, and I just was figured. Do I have anything I say? Don't say anything.
At this point, you should know I'm not one of those guys that will freak out if you criticize something.
Unless I start talking about Wonder Bat, then you.
Yeah, exactly. Then I flip out. So, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but remember, it wasn't necessarily a full. You have to. The way I counter that, a counterpoint. It wasn't really that much of when you think about it, an episode that maybe warranted all that. It was basically an exposition dump arc.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but an excuse. It's still no excuse for poor quality. Like,
I think it was that poor.
I thought it was really bad. Like, the art itself was very, very rough. Like, I've seen YouTube animators with smoother animation. I've seen YouTube animators. And I'm not talking about, like, the top tier people. I'm talking in, like, mid to low tier people. Like, I've seen animation students in public colleges do better work than this. And it's just like, and you can't just use like, oh, this is like a smaller release. Look at some of the other stuff in this. Like, there's some really high quality animation in Halo Legends. Like that's why when it came to stuff like Homecoming, I just more put my hands up being like, okay, I just didn't get it. Like the animation was fine. B-Train did it. It better be good. B-Train did it. But like with those two, it just because like the filter was so aggressive, you could hardly see anything most of the time, and just like and like the 3D models, they just barely moved. So that's why I felt like the filter was more of a cover up than it was an artistic choice.
What would you think of the fight scene where the Arbiter basically wiped out an army? He moved plenty in that one.
But you can tell it's low quality animation. Because here's the thing. I've done animation, all right? I took an animation classes in college. I have an idea of what goes into this, and I can kind of tell when stuff is like really bad animation.
Okay, that's fine. You're allowed to have your own opinions. That's what the show is about.
I am, yes, I'm more than welcome to have an opinion.
Yeah, and trust me, to give you an idea, there were plenty of episodes of Animatrix that I just didn't get. I was like, or that I didn't think were the best animated, but that's just me. We have our own like perspectives on it.
Well, let's compare and contrast a little bit, because I feel like Animatrix and Halo Legends are kind of in a similar league in terms of like what they were trying to do. Like they're both like a series of like anthology of animated shorts by different studios. I will say in the Animatrix defense, they were all a lot better with like self-containing their stories. Also, JJheat is fallen again. Yeah.
The only one that I didn't like in terms of art style was the one where they were reprogramming the robots. That one I thought was a little weird.
Oh, okay. You want to know what's funny?
Look at what?
Actually, my favorite short, the one you're thinking of, is called Meticulated. That was actually done by Peter Chung, who you might know better as the creator of Eon Flux. And if you've ever seen Eon Flux, oh dear, like if you thought Meticulated was weird, Eon Flux is a whole nother level. By the way, Peter Chung also created Rugrats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I knew that art style looked familiar, but it was just like it wasn't really my like. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I do agree with you. The problem, the advantage Animatrix had is that you didn't necessarily have to watch the movies to get like the Matrix. In other words, you just had to watch these and they'll explain it. With this one, okay, the ship is like going through space and you see Cortana, and I'm like, the hell.
Yeah, and like getting back to like Meticulated for a second. So I do think probably your issue was that like obviously a lot of that was weird for the sake of weird, you know.
With the Matrix.
Well, and that short in particular, like Peter Chung's style is very avant-garde. Let's just say that. But also they're getting very philosophical in that short, so I think that might have, a lot of that, like I'll admit, like a lot of the over philosophizing was a little bit weird, but I do enjoy Meticulated. I thought it was a great episode.
The other one that I wasn't the biggest fan of, I mean, let me put it this way, my favorite one was Final Flight of the Osiris. That was dope as hell.
You mean the most mainstream one?
Yeah, that was the fun one. The one that I didn't necessarily enjoy that much, because there were two. It was Meticulated and the one about the runner.
World record?
Yeah, that one I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on in this one.
I mean, that one, that one's like it's about as straightforward as you get. Basically, because he's exerting himself, with his running, he's at risk of waking up, and they don't want him to wake up. Like I don't know why you're confused by it. Like it seems like that story was about as straightforward as you can get.
But see, here's my problem with it. They're introducing something that should have. See, here's the thing. With the whole idea about how if you exert yourself harder, you have the risk of like waking up. Wouldn't the machines have thought of this?
Well, you got to realize, this is like the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? So he's putting himself in a mental state that like 0.1% of all humans ever have 0.1% of humans are even possible of getting to. Like, so this is such a rare use case that like they may not even be able to account for it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into the Matrix stream, but like,
yeah, but well, in your defense, we didn't exactly talk about it that much. But yeah, it's just with a vulnerability that easy to exploit. It's let me put it this way: with a vulnerability that big, I'm like, they should have at least thought of that.
Let's just kind of put it. Let's just kind of like end it here, but then say that a lot of the same criticisms you had for the Matrix, I had for Halo.
Yeah, and that's why the show. That's why it's fun to have like a lot of different co-hosts, because we can have all these different discussions. And I know you're not doing it to be an a-hole. You have.
I just wanted to end the discussion kind of on a neutral stance. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I had the issues that I had with Halo was I was not as familiar with the lore with you, because like remember, like in the Halo stuff, you were explaining stuff to like the granular detail, and then when we got to Matrix, the situation was literally reversed.
Literally, yeah. I was surprised by how much you knew.
Dude, you know I'm a huge Matrix nerd. You know it. Where like I was describing all this stuff, and I yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is random, but I want to do this. So I got a package from Marvel in the mail today.
Wait, what?
Because I subscribe to their like digital comics app, Marvel Unlimited, and the tier that I have, that every year they send you a box of swag. I got this Daredevil action figure.
Ooh,
that's in his classic 90s, and a bunch of patches. But all right, so randomness aside, yeah, that's totally fine, because I know you're not like one of those anti-Snyder people who will just make up who will. Well,
anti-Snyder people.
Yeah, I have to call these people that. Well, let me put it this way. Here's the thing, and you know what? You were able to at least you gave me a good explanation at least.
Dude, what was literally the first sentence I ever said to you?
Nice Snyder cut hoodie.
Yeah, it's like
literally. I kid you not. He joins me. I'm in the Snyder cut hoodie with the symbols, and he goes, "Nice hoodie," and I'm like, "This guy knows what's up."
Like that was literally the first words I ever said to him.
And then the second sentence is when he told me that the Snyderverse is actually more popular than people think it is, and I was like, "Yep, this is gonna work out."
He's like, "I like this guy.
I like him. This works out very well." So. But going back to this,
so
yeah,
I guess you could say this is the way.
Yeah, and by the way, Nick, that's why I wanted to have parts where I go into the lore, because I thought that if you knew a little bit more of the lore, you'd be able to appreciate some of the components, some of the episodes a little more.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably never gonna watch this again. It's like I'm not like that big of a Halo nerd, but I enjoyed parts of it.
You might enjoy the other like animated movie Fall of Reach more. The animation style is a little odd, but I think you might enjoy it a little more.
I'll probably watch Nightfall at some point, because I did enjoy Forward Unto Dawn, and
Nightfall is freaking dope.
I probably enjoy Nightfall.
All you have to know is that the Human Covenant War is over at this point. That's all you have to know.
Okay.
Literally, that is all you have to know. It even has a crawl in the beginning that basically explains everything.
Okay.
So that's all and it's basically Locke's origin story. So that's all you gotta know. But I mean, yeah. So we have that, and we have again Fall of Reach. That's actually an adaptation of. So when Halo 1 came out, they released a prequel novel. Concurrently with the game, which is kind of funny, because when the game came out, on the back it says "You're the last Spartan," but on the at the end of the novel, spoiler alert, he's not the last Spartan. So I'm like, well, that's kind of a thing there. But the movie is like legit, like it's a good adaptation of the source material. Like it doesn't change; it changes practically nothing.
So you're saying that he doesn't take off his helmet in the first episode?
Well, here's the thing, though. What happens is it takes place in two separate times. One is like when he's an adult, he does not take his helmet off. one when he's a kid up to teenager, and you see his face because he's a kid or a teenager. So it's like, okay, I can take that one.
Okay.
Jared's having an aneurysm. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not having an aneurysm. I'm telling Nick about Halo 4 Unto Dawn, the animated movie, JJheat.
Which is
Yeah,
worse, the animated movie or Halo 4?
Why are you harping on that?
No, hey, I'm just asking a question. It's not like I referenced a TV
Halo
show.
4.
Ooh, hot take.
Well, because here's the thing: the animated movie was legit an adaptation of that novel. It's like legit word for word.
Jared, all right,
what's
I
up?
got a question for you. Who would let's say you were forced to grab lunch with a fictional character for an hour? Who would it rather be? The Paramount version of Master Keats or Captain Marvel from the MCU?
Oh, geez, that's a tough one. Probably Master Cheeks, because I could still because he could tell me some war stories about like killing Covenant.
And the minute he takes off, like literally, he steps on the table and
No,
takes off his helmet first.
I'm gonna say as soon as he reaches to take off the helmet, I'm like, that better stay on.
Like, I got one better. What about what's the name of the woman he sleeps with?
Maquis.
Maquis or Captain Marvel?
Oh, that's a tough one because I hate Maquis. No, Quan. And for those of you that don't know, Quan is a character in the show, originally for the show, that literally has entire episodes devoted just to her.
Are you saying
it's kind of funny? Angry
the Yennefer
Joe
of the Halo series?
Yeah, Angry Joe, when he was reviewing the show, he hates it, by the way. So if you want to see some really funny Angry Joes, watch his reaction. Like in the episode where Chief and Maquis have sex, he starts it off, what in the literal F?
Wait,
it's so funny.
You mean to tell me Angry Joe is angry? You might as well just say, in other news, water.
What? I need that drop too.
I'm sorry, I love the way that Lawrence Fishburne just does.
I love Lawrence Fishburne's Perry White in general. But
Perfect delivery.
But by the way, my friend Tyler, he effortlessly predicted from episode 1 as soon as Maquis shows up. Literally, you don't know anything about this girl. He's like, "Oh no, she's gonna sleep with the chief, isn't she?"
Pretty much.
And then a couple episodes later, I'm watching. I recorded his reaction, and it's very expletive laden. It's really funny. For those that don't know, Tyler's the one who built the Comics League website. So hats off to and made the logo and the banner and everything. So all good. But so moving on. Okay, so yeah. By the way, so what Angry Joe would do is that he rated the episodes of Halo so bad he started calling them "It's a Quan out of Quan."
Well,
did you know that in Halo an Xbox makes a cameo?
Wait, what?
An original Xbox survived 500 years into the future.
Oh, you mean like a Chevy? Same reason a Chevy Tahoe did?
And guess what? Yes, exactly. And they're using AK-47s. And I'm like, I get they're insurrectionists, but if you read the books, insurrectionists actually have like Halo guns. It's not like they're grabbing a. But anyway, what's kind of funny, it's not even in a museum.
Those AK-47s are so freaking durable. If you told me
true,
that people would still be like, if you told me that people have been regularly using them for 10,000 years and they've been getting regular service and they still function perfectly, I would believe you.
Yeah, there's a reason why all the insurgency groups use AKs. Just bringing that up there.
An AK-47 can literally be 80% mud and still fire perfectly.
Yep, and sand. But anyway, back to
I hate sand. I hate sand.
It's rough and coarse and irritating, and it gets out everywhere. But anyway, so it's like there's a scene in like a market, and Tyler and I were watching this episode, and I'm like, wait a second. I rewound it multiple times, and legit on the shelf being sold was an Xbox. It's not like in a museum where it could possibly be perfectly preserved. It's just
it belongs in a museum.
Yeah, exactly. It does though. But I'm like, that's a nice cameo, but it's kind of stupid when you think about it. It survived 500 years. It's just really dumb. But there's a lot about that series that's really stupid. Here's a funny idea for some Comics League content. We rewatch the show together, and you get to hear me rant about it afterwards.
See, like the Xbox surviving, you could kind of make an argument because, like, oh, it's small, but like the thing is, how the frick, like, why is there a Chevy Tahoe? Not just in the future, but also off world. Do you know how expensive it is to get something like that off world? Like, why would somebody, like, it would be one thing if it was like an antique, like a Corvette. Like, if there was a Corvette running, like for example, in Star Trek, when it's like hundreds of years in the future and there are Corvettes running around, yeah, because those are antiques and people would maintain them. That's fine. But a freaking Chevy Tahoe.
They could have at least maxed and put a bunch of armor on it to make it not look like an obvious Chevy Tahoe. And the funny part is that they mounted a machine gun on it. And when the Covenant attacks in the first episode, the machine gun doesn't do anything. And then the chief just rips it off the truck and just mows down a bunch of elites. So I'm like,
I mean,
here's what
I would do. I would change the sound of the Tahoe to a sound effect to make it like sound like a different engine. So that way, like, oh no, I give it like a different, like, it's like, okay, it's a Tahoe, but like all the internals have been replaced, so it's got like an electric end, like a fusion engine and an engine in it or something, to where it's like, okay, I like, because there's no way a push rod V8 engine is gonna let a Chevy one at that.
By the way, there was this. My one point I will give to the show is that it does have the shield sounds, like the beep 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 beep, and then it makes the actual sound the shields make when they recharge, and the armor looks good. Everything except for the characters in the show was great. Literally, that is the one thing. The people in the show is what made it bad. Except for Halsey, they nailed Halsey.
Well, she's an older maternal figure. It wasn't exactly that hard.
No, it's just the morally ambiguous choices she makes in the show. The part that I didn't like is that it's worse, that it's bad enough that the Master Chief is having sex with Maquis, but while he's doing it, Cortana is literally standing on the table watching.
That hasn't been memed to death.
And by the way, so in this show, they retconned it where she is actually wired into his brain. So what's funny about it is that I'm like, can she feel anything?
She feels everything.
Yeah, I know. It's really weird. And they make it so they wipe the Spartans' memories of their home. So I'm like, the hell is this?
I feel like they were just writing as they went along. Because this...
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really see the point of a live-action Halo show.
Money, that's the point.
And they were trying to more mainstream Halo, which you can't do. But what they did say is that,
what's funny is, if this was 2000s, Halo was as mainstream as you can get. Like, Halo was video games in the 2000s.
And the
2000s, they would have gotten away with a lot more.
2000s, it was getting released in Times Square. But
okay,
by the way, what's cool...
Just to kind of give you some context, Halo 3 had a better opening weekend than Spider-Man 3, which came out the same year.
Yeah, exactly.
That just kind of gives you a point of like just how big Halo was outgrossing the movie industry.
And by so what's fun is that 343 did come out and say that they are going to make Halo season 2 closer to the game. And I'm like, thank you.
Well, they've kind of gone past the point of term where they've literally killed Master Chief and now he's like a meat puppet. So
no, they could always undo that. Because they make it like because Cortana says like, if I take over, I won't be able. I may not be able to bring you back. And then he goes, I trust you, indicating that they will. There are ways that they can bring him back. But and I was talking to my dad about this too, because he's not a big Halo fan. I mean, he hasn't played the games, but he and I were having a debate about the helmet removal thing. And I said what they could have done as a compromise is don't take the helmet off. You know how like in the Iron Man movies where the camera's in the helmet and you see him in the heads-up display and everything? They could have done that. And I would have been like, okay, that's fine. I may see the Chief's face, but at least he's not taking off the helmet. I would have taken that above what they gave us. But anyway, back to this. We got really off topic, but this was super fun geeking out about Halo. So, and by the way, if you guys would like us to do a Halo show, just let me know. So, overall,
oh, trust me, I wouldn't be participating because like I'm not the biggest Halo fan.
it would actually be a good show if I could explain Halo to someone that doesn't know Halo. That'd be fun. But anyway, we'll talk about this off stream. But in terms of so ratings of Halo Legends, the collection, I'm gonna start with JHeat on this one. How would you rate it out of 10?
I'll give it an 8 because even though it was a good recap and getting me back into Halo, the duel was so subpar in terms of its art design and animation, it kind of took me out of the experience. So I'll give it an 8.
What about you, JHeat? I mean, Nick. Sorry,
Nick.
I'm tired.
I'm going to be charitable and give it a 6. If we're just talking the first half, like the duel and Origins, we'd be talking a 3 or a 4. But if we're just talking the second half, it becomes like a 7.5, maybe 8. So it just kind of averages out to about a 6.
That's fair. That's fair.
I want to give it a 5, but I'm trying to be gracious.
At least it kind of course corrected in the latter half, which a lot of shows can't say that. Mandalorian, but me personally, I give it about an 8 or a 9 because it has that Halo fandom cushion, and I was able to. I was more willing to like excuse those other small issues. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm going to give it like an 8 because you do have to know a little bit of the lore to understand a few of these episodes and what's going on in the beginning of the episode, and that's a problem. That is a distinct problem. But drop in the comments, everyone. How would you rate Halo Legends? But all right, I'm going to go around. Nick, where can one find you, and what have you got coming out?
All right, so my name is Nick Gibson, the Phoenix Press. Find me on YouTube, the Phoenix Press, YouTube similar. I just released my latest episode, the Super Slipstream Brothers, with this idiot over here. We're talking about violence in video games, but not sex on TV. And then
that's another episode coming out soon. I'm only kidding.
Violence
we
in
used to
movies and sex on TV. But yeah, so I'll be dropping my comic a week from Friday on this very channel. So stay tuned for that one. And yeah, just hanging out with my boy Courage over here. In fact, just kind of give me a sec, you guys. It's
hello, Courage. Has Courage completed? Has Courage finished the fight? Does he need a weapon?
He is the weapon. He survives on cuteness alone.
By the way, so on my shield, on my sword up there on the wall, when Steve Jones signed in, Steve Jones, the voice of the Master Chief, he signed it, "I need a weapon."
Well, someone please give this man a gun.
Like a weapon, yeah. In my helmet, he signed, "Finish the fight."
Get this man a weapon.
And Cortana signed the helmet, and she signed it as "Don't make a girl a promise." But that's and then the sword, she signed it as "That you can't stick it." That's a line for the original Halo 2 demo. The Chief arms a plasma grenade and goes, and she goes, "I bet you can't stick it." And he goes, "You're on." By the way, that was the weirdest part of the day because what happened was I was in line to get stuff signed by Steve Downs because they had 2 signings. I was in line to get signed, and then they had to end it because he had to schedule. So they ended it right at me. They ended the line right at me. So I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. So I went about my day, and it turns out, and like later on into the nighttime, they were going to do another one with him and Jen Taylor, who voices Cortana. So I was like, oh, okay, dope. So they were raffling off the spaces because they didn't expect the large amount of people that would want to do this. So they're naming off numbers, and then my dad grabbed the number 2, and his number got picked. So we're like, yes. And then he snuck in too. They didn't check the numbers, but so I'm like, okay. So what happens is that we can only get 2 items signed each. So what Dad did, since he snuck in, he got my 2 Funko Pop signed, and I got the helmet and the sword signed.
Did you know that Jen Taylor also voices Salem and Ruby?
I do know that as someone that has seen practically every episode up to season 3. It's kind of funny. My least favorite episode, my least favorite character in Ruby is Cinder, and my friend Logan, he can testify to this. I hate Cinder because she killed a character named Pyrrha, who's basically
Hero Arcanos!
So you know what I did, Nick? I used to make up
soon.
elaborate ways for her to get killed. Like, she's my wood chipper character.
How can you not like Captain Canada?
Oh, by the way, I just want to let you know, Nick, do you mind if I spoil Ruby Justice League real quick, part 1?
Oh, you're going to bring up the Batman scene, aren't you?
No. This is actually a good thing. Something I predicted a long time ago, years ago. They brought back Pyrrha.
Oh, hallelujah.
Like, it's all I've seen is the clip from the movie. I don't know the context. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know is that it's actually her. And
I am very I'm sorry, her and John, like that death. Oh,
fun fact,
Arcanos.
I have the Ruby game, which is actually really fun.
Grim
There was a
Eclipse?
Ruby game?
Grim
There's actually been
Eclipse.
several.
It's a hack and slash game. And you know, it's kind of funny. That'd be kind of fun. It's co-op if you guys want to get it. I think it's cross-platform.
I own it on Steam, so if you want to play, I'd be down.
Hang on. Let me ask if it. Let me see if it is Ruby Grim Eclipse cross-platform.
Because if it is, I'll play it with you. I literally own it on Steam. I've had it for like a long time. It's actually a pretty fun game. Like I remember playing it. It was pretty fun.
According to this, no, it's not.
Well, I guess you have to buy it on PC then.
Dang it! Who was your main in that game, Nick? Mine was Pyrrha.
I never bought any of the DLC, so I think I was either Yang or Weiss. Weiss is actually one of my favorite characters. By the way, some trivia. I actually named one of my characters. So you know how there's Tyler and you know her sister Judy. You know what their last name is?
What?
Schnee.
Okay.
Weiss Schnee.
Yeah.
Schnee Death Company. I gave them Weiss's last name.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So her you know Taylor Schnee.
That's
Tyler
awesome.
Schnee, sorry.
That's awesome. And so that'll be honestly, and also fun thing to do on a rewatch is to rewatch Ruby.
Yeah,
Up to a certain point because it starts to go down after a couple of seasons.
Yeah, I used to be big. I used to be really big in the Ruby fandom. I think I saw the soundtrack somewhere, and I probably have a plushie of Ruby somewhere. Like I used to be huge into the Ruby fandom.
What's hilarious? My friend Logan.
I really want to. My dream is to meet Barbara Dunkelman and engage her in a pun off. Because if you know Barbara Dunkelman, her thing is puns.
Yeah.
I am probably the only person
that has to be content for Phoenix Press.
I am probably the only person who is capable of beating her in a pun off. Like I am the only one capable of matching her power.
Yeah, that's true.
And my plan is if I'm ever going to be at a convention where she's at, I'm going to call her out on Twitter like the day before, you know. And the way I'm going to open it up with is I'm going to have like a plastic can, and I'm say, "Hey, before I do this, here, let me give you a handicap." Like that's going to be my opener.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. That is fantastic, by the way. And if you guys would be interested in like a Ruby rewatch, probably of all of the seasons up until when does it go downhill? Like massively?
Around season 5.
Well, technically it goes downhill in season after season 3 because Monty died in between season 2 and 3. Rest in peace. He did have like some input on season 3. Season 4 is when they switched from Poser to Maya, the animation, and that's when the other animators fully got control of Ruby. But seasons 1 and 2 are pure Monty. Like, I argue some of these scenes, like the Monty animated scenes in Ruby, are better animated. Like, obviously the models are better in the new ones, but like, I'd say like in terms of like animation quality is like runs rings. Like, oh, Jared, have you ever seen Haloid?
Yes, I have. I know that was him. I know that is awesome.
Some other one, but probably my favorite Monty work was Dead Fantasy.
Okay.
Which was a series of shorts where it's a crossover between Dead or Alive and Final Fantasy, and it's all the girls of like Dead or Alive and Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm. So, by the way, breaking news. I just want to bring this up. Apparently, Alita Battle Angel sequel talks are underway. So, hells to the yeah.
Let me guess. You saw that? You saw my post?
No, I saw it on Instagram just now, and I'm like, yes.
I pulled the Mad Max Fury Road. I was like, what a day. What a lovely day.
Yes, please.
Of course.
Yes. Well, we should do that. Has to be a rewatch episode. I mean, that has to be a movie night stream, and we have to get Snyder Queen on there as well because she's a huge Alita fan.
I'd be okay with that.
But yeah, that was like one of the movies that I watched this in theaters, and I was like, okay, so they finally got a good anime adaptation.
Finally.
Yeah.
So anyway, that will be a movie night. I assure you that is happening. So JJheat.
You know, I just realized we missed a big opportunity. We should have had JJheat watch Dragon Ball Evolution as a Full Day movie.
Oh, that's next year. That's next year.
Notice he's quiet. He's quiet. Like
he's trying to find some positivity about it, so we won't give it to him.
But he can't.
But
we got Dragon Ball Z Kai, we got Dragon Ball Super out of it. Toriyama back
No. You can't.
It counts. It counts. It counts.
No, JJheat.
Except the problem is,
here's the difference. Wait.
Super sucks.
You can't judge the movie itself based on what came out of it. You have to judge the movie itself.
That's like saying, Godzilla 98 is good because it made Toei do the Millennium series. No, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works, JJheat. But anyway, JJheat, after that long-ass explanation, where can one find you and what have you got coming out?
Well, you can find me at JJheat75 on Twitter, JJheat Plays on YouTube. I actually got a Boruto Chapter 80 review coming out. Blazing Shonen was delayed, but it's coming out this weekend. Of course, I'll be collabing with Teladia on Full Circle stream. And hold on, I just got to present this one quick thing.
You're not doing the song again, are you? You better not be doing it because I'm not playing it. I'm waiting for the preview to load. He regrets nothing. So, all right. In terms of Comics League, you can find me at Comics League JT, Comics League 2021, Comics League. Basically, what's going across your screen right now, we have on Monday, I'm talking about So this week, we're doing an Under Two Capes episode on when gatekeeping is appropriate. Just got to get the right time to record on that. And then, next Wednesday, I am actually doing a collab for Indie Wednesday. I am interviewing Galeta Comics. So be on the lookout for that. And in terms of my Monday video, I'm probably going to do a video talking. Well, obviously, if it gets announced on Sunday, that'll be the topic of my Monday video. Absolutely. But in the unlikely event it doesn't, I'll probably do a video talking about some more Super Wonder stuff because you all like that. So I guess I got it now. So on that note, be on the lookout for me at least starting a Halo discussion on my channel. I'm thinking about seeing what I can do for that. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying I'm exploring the possibility of it. So stay heroic, everyone, and I will be sure to see you in the next episode. See you later.